What up, Wukong Nation? It's your boy Great Sage Equal here. So I came across this video. I've not watched it yet. Everyone's saying, "Hey man, watch this video. Watch this video." Because you have a nose ring. And the video is called Explaining Nose Ring Theory. Now, if you realize I have a septum piercing, haha. The best cow at the local flea market, right? At the local fair. I've had this thing for about a year, more than a year now. I actually really like it. I think it suits me quite well. However, you tend to see a trend with certain types of people that have nose piercings. So, yeah, let's get into this video. Let's see what they're talking about. Now, if you don't know, this channel is the Dadvocate. Definitely give her a follow, give her a like, sub to her, support this channel. And actually, let's get into it. I gotta see if I hold that, if there's an L, and if I am to be holding it.
Hey again, guys. I've got a fun one for you today that I think you're gonna find interesting. Nose ring theory. And I just know that when I say that, half of you are gonna be confused, and the other half of you somehow know exactly what I'm talking about, even if you've
you know. You know. You know the type. Okay? You know where we're going with this.
never heard of it before. I will explain everything I've learned about this theory, show you some examples, and then give you my 2 cents on this whole thing. So to take you on the journey that I went down to get here, I'll show you the video that I first saw that introduced me to this whole thing.
So I'm 24 years old, and I've been trying my hand at dating men, specifically for...
This looks like a girl I've dated. Yo, I'm sorry. If I'm pausing this video constantly, I apologize. I have a lot to say on this topic from all this, okay? I'm being nice here. I'm being nice. All right.
probably about 5-6 years now, in a serious way. I'm single at the moment. My boyfriend and I just broke up recently, and I have probably dated about like 4 to 5 men, seriously. Keep running into the same issues every single time I date a man, and I've been trying to like really get to the root of what it is. And now I know what you're thinking, you probably have a type. I do not have a type. These men don't know each other, they're not friends, they're not from the same area, they don't look alike. I really do not have a type. The only thing that these men have in common is that they are men.
No, that's cap. You have a type. Everyone has a type. Okay, everyone has a type. I swear. Even if you don't have a type, you do. There's something that they do. It's something that they say. There, you have a type. Anyways.
Reflecting a lot and trying to figure out what like the root of all these issues is. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships ended. One of the main issues that I've come to recognize is that I don't think men are really socialized to know what it means to truly love someone, like love their partner and care for their partner. Obviously, I'm not saying this is all men, but I think it's just not normalized for them to like, I don't know.
That's cap. I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Yeah, so that's cap because honestly, when you think about it, you look at like all these men that go out and they want to find a significant other and they want to support them. They want to, make sure that their needs are met. And there's a level of closeness that men actually like to be involved with their partners. And it's kind of demonized. It's kind of like taken on the internet as like, oh man, men would like fuck a fish if they wanted to, blah, blah, blah. Like they'll say all these things that kind of take out the yearning. Like men, in my honest opinion, are really the romantics in big 2025. Like, I gotta tell you, how many times have you been in a situation as a man where, like you might get propositioned romantically, or not romantically, let's say that like it's like a one night stand or something. And, I know so many men, including myself, that's like, if there's no feelings, if I don't have feelings for you, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna give up that part of myself to you or expose that side of myself to you. You get what I'm saying? Anyways.
just like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What I'm saying, for example, is that every single one of these men individually has looked me in my eyes and told me that I am the love of their life, I'm the most important person in their life, that they would take a bullet for me, and every single one of them has treated me horribly, okay? I don't know about you, but when I tell somebody they're the love of my life and that they're the person I care about the most, I show it. I'm treating them accordingly. Part of it that really trips me up is that they believe it. They actually believe in their heart that I'm the love of their life and I'm the person they care about the most. I start calling it out. I would be like, you do not love me and you do not care about me. Like, point blank period. Otherwise you wouldn't be treating me badly. And they will argue and they get genuinely offended.
Like, why would you contest that, really? Like, why would you call them out on that? Because, okay, here's the thing. Sometimes people, and this happened, like, with an ex of mine way back when, you know, she was like, oh, I love you. She's the one that told me first that she loved me and that she had feelings for me. She was, like, so in love with me and all this. Like, this is a normal thing where, like, sometimes it's not even malicious. Sometimes, like, the feelings get the best of them and they say it and they mean it. Sometimes they don't, and in some cases they intentionally say it and use it as, like, manipulation. Now that's a small case, because I really do believe that most people out there are trying to find love. However, that's not this situation right here. You know, out of all the men that you know have said that I love you, they could in fact be doing so just to get something out of her. Because, I mean, look at her, she's young, you know, she's pretty, this, that, whatever. But these guys, not all of them are that way. Like, I honestly, most men, if they tell you that they love you, I think they honestly mean it. Because it's kind of I'm not gonna say it's hard to love, but in the current state, when it comes to how men are, it is kind of hard to love without being scared. And people are scared of that vulnerability, both men and women. That's just a normal thing now. One night stands, you know, you'll go and you'll find someone you think you're in love with, and next thing you know, bam, they like cheat on you, or they just have so many options, right? They see like a 10-10 on Instagram that they're hitting up, and so what they could want out of that chase, sometimes their chase for someone like that is worth discarding the time that they spent with the person that would actually treat them right. So I don't know enough about this girl to say either way, but sometimes when people tell you that they love you, it is genuine, and your actions will always show. I'll leave it at that. Your actions will always show if you love them or not.
Offended. I honestly pity them because I don't think they're socialized to know.
And that part's cap, by the way. The whole, like, oh, men aren't socialized to know what it means to be in love with someone. We've literally lived for thousands upon thousands of years with feelings, and you're telling me that it's cool. You're not blaming men. That's awesome. But, like, when you break it down, saying that men aren't socialized to express love and to know what it means to be in love with someone, yeah, infatuation does play a part, but that's very small in, like, the end scheme. At the end of the day, love is a choice more than anything.
And, like, I don't know how to get it across in a meaningful way to them. Like, they just don't listen. And I'll be like, okay, you wouldn't have done this bad thing to me if you actually loved me in the way that you say you do. Like, that is not what love is. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you don't do things to intentionally or even unintentionally hurt them. Why is that considered love to you? I'm just like, I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly pity them because that has to be awful, but like, I can't handle it anymore, dude.
So in this video, this girl is describing her troubles with finding a good man. She insists that she doesn't have a type, that none of these men really have anything in common, but for some reason, in the end, they always end up treating her horribly. And this led many in the comments to speculate that it must be something about her that is the common denominator. And unfortunately, since it's such a short TikTok video and we don't really get much insight onto greater parts of her personality, and she's not very open about what her most major flaws are to figure out why she's attracting such mean men or why her relationships are always driven to turmoil, people began to theorize, because it's one of the most noticeable things about her, that it could potentially have to do with the amount of piercings she has. In fact, these two comments right next to each other say, "The piercing theory is so true," with over 700 likes. And again, "Don't know, don't care, nose ring theory," with over 1,200 likes.
Nose ring theory.
So you might be wondering, like I did, what about having a bunch of metal in your face would cause someone to treat you poorly? I mean, sure, the style isn't everyone's type, but these men were clearly attracted enough to her to date her, so then what is it that's causing the relationships to not go well? So I decided to look into what these men were referencing when they talked about the piercing theory or the nose ring theory. And this was the top video I found.
Have y'all ever heard of the septum piercing theory? If you have a septum piercing, you may not want to look it up, but I'm always the last person to hear about shit. So, this is common knowledge. It's dead ass. It's actually dead ass. Because it says that every person that has a septum piercing makes their trauma their entire personality.
And she agrees?
No, bro.
It's dead ass.
Like I said, dead ass.
Damn, straight from the horse.
That's cap, by the way. Just for the record, one piercing, 0 bitches, okay? One piercing, 0 bitches. No bitches. Room is a mess, ignore that. But let me tell you, if you have a septum piercing, it makes your trauma your personality. What about, like, you know, cultures that had septum piercings back in the day, prior to all this, prior to TikTok, prior to like this 5th, 6th, 7th wave feminism, this, that, whatever, you know, prior to the, you know, all these like progressive movements, prior to all of that, people got their septum pierced, and making it your traumas, your personality, and that happens to coincide with like the septum ring thing in like such a way, I think that's cap. I think that's your self-fulfilling prophecy at that point, where you're just kind of like rolling it back and you're like, oh, I've got one of these. Also, I do this thing. I do this toxic thing. I make my trauma my whole personality. Listen, I know plenty of people that have 0 piercings that make trauma their personality. Like their trauma, they're like, this is who I am. That's cap, brother. That's absolute cap. Anyways.
Or maybe I should say straight from
Got
the
him.
bull's mouth. You know, because you get it.
Got me. Okay. All right. At least I'm a bull, you know? I don't know if that's a good thing, but, you know, if you want to... Hell, I'm bull-coated. Make me bull-coated over cow-coated. I don't care. Bulls are cooler. I mean, cows get milked, though. Never mind. Pause.
You get it. And if even the person with the nose ring is saying it's true, I mean, there's gotta be something there. And this is just even more hilarious when we take that theory and then reference back to the first video where the girl was making her relationship trauma her entire personality. Okay, that might have been a little reductive. After all, it was just one video. Surely her entire profile isn't like that.
Yo, you guys never told me how cool it is to have a dad. Like, this is a secret that's been kept from me, okay? I grew up with 3 moms. My mommy issues are off the charts.
Okay, sure. I mean, so maybe she doesn't have a dad and has a ton of self-proclaimed mommy issues, but that doesn't mean trauma's her entire personality.
I have psoriasis. Not like a little psoriasis, like all over my entire body. When I tell you, my whole body looks like this.
Okay, so she has a bit of medical trauma too, but I mean, there's more to her.
Nothing normal can ever happen to me. I think I attract chaos.
Okay, so attracting chaos, it might be a little red flag, but I mean, there's gotta be something normal here.
Not to be a man-hater or anything. Actually, no, fully to be a man-hater. They're fully...
What do you think it's gonna be? Men don't feel anything. Men don't understand when I'm upset. Men are so toxic. Oh God. I don't know. Like, there's some really fucked up men out there, but please, I gotta know. I gotta know.
To be a man hater.
Oh,
All right,
okay, I guess
say, is
also
she gonna
just
tell us?
doesn't Men. I mean, you could have brought that up when you were theorizing on why your relationships with men might be going poorly. I'm starting to connect the dots. Now, when I first started looking into nose ring theory, I didn't think that I would take it seriously at all. I thought it would just be a good laugh. But the more I looked into it, the more I think that it might actually hold some weight, because I did find quite a number of studies that have strong correlations between individuals with a lot of piercings and tattoos and how they are perceived and who they attract. This study seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos scored significantly higher than those without for sensation seeking and risk taking.
Hold on, I gotta read this. I gotta read this. Okay, so it says self-esteem, propensity for sensation seeking, and risk behavior among adults with tattoos and piercings. In recent years, increasing number of adults and adolescents have opted to undergo tattoo and piercing procedures. Studies among adolescents with tattoos and piercings have usually explored the relationship between one factor and the decision to have wait. Is this... I feel like this is kind of cut out a little bit. Anyways. Aim of the study was to determine relationships between body cosmetic procedures and self-esteem, propensity for sensation-seeking, and risk behaviors among... Okay. Basically, Alright. Everyone had that one friend in high school. Alright, or college, or whenever. Or maybe, hell, we're adults. I'm 30. You see shit like it all the time. These girls and sometimes dudes, they'll be like, oh man, they had like something awful happen, and they're like, oh man, I gotta like cut my hair or dye it a new color or this, that, whatever. This is that, but like it's just new. Tattoos are in, piercings are in. For the record, again, I have one piercing. Well, technically my ears are pierced as well. They're just, I don't have anything in them right now, but one piercing, 0 bitches, and I would still have 0 bitches with 0 piercings. It's a constant, okay? It has nothing to do with this metal, but maybe they have a point. You know, let's see what the study says.
This other study that I found seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos, specifically women, scored significantly higher for extroversion and assertiveness, meaning they are more aggressive socially. This study that I found in Psychology Today examines how people with tattoos and piercings are perceived.
Okay.
And the most popular finding was that they are perceived to be more sexually promiscuous, and that they tend to attract people who are looking for more casual relationships than serious ones. And
Okay. Yes, that is true. 0 tattoos, by the way. Not that I don't want one. I don't know what to get. You know? That's the only thing stopping me. But you hop on Tinder, or like if you're like your local church, let's say if you're part of a church community, you got the two types of like girls, the church going girls, virgin, this, that, whatever, live your life, girly pop or whatever. Virgin, no tattoos, this, that, whatever, just like your basic girl, especially if you live in the South, you see a lot of what I'm about to talk about. And then you've got like the tatted up mom, has like 3 kids, maybe she's 24, 25 years old, wanting to find God, billion tattoos. That's very common. Like that's a trope. And I mean, if you were to look at any, take the church out of it, you go to anywhere, Walmart, your typical Walmart Americans, you go up in there and you'll see that a lot of the women that have tattoos also have kids, or they're lesbians. That's just kind of how it is. I don't know what to tell you.
many other studies seem to point to people with piercings and tattoos having higher correlations with impulsivity and more experience with trauma and adversity.
No doubt.
This study from BMC Psychology seemed to find a strong correlation between body modifications and people who experienced childhood abuse and neglect. And this one really stood out to me. This one found a notable prevalence of individuals with a high number of body modifications and borderline personality disorder. Now, this is not to say that individuals with piercings and tattoos are all degenerate problem children undeserving of love. I myself have a belly button piercing and an entire side piece, and I find myself to be pretty well adjusted and have had a lot of success in my relationships. But it does beg the question, could there be any legitimacy to the nose ring theory, or is it mostly just something that jerks shout at people they disagree with online when they happen to have a nose ring? My ultimate conclusion?
Absolutely, yeah, both. Like, why not call, like, on the internet, why not call people out off of how you perceive them? Like, how you look at someone, why not call them out that way? Like, also, Dadvocate, dude, she's beautiful anyways. Like, oh my god. Like, you know, you look at her, and even though she has a piercing, like an unconventional, like, body piercing, right? You know, like a belly button piercing. She's got a whole side piece. That's really awesome too. I wonder what it is. You look at her and you wouldn't think of her to be living in like this alternative kind of aesthetic. So that's awesome. But yeah, no, absolutely, it's both. I don't think there's a correlation, but it's like if you had a Venn diagram, they wouldn't overlap a little bit, they would overlap a lot, you know? They would overlap, like, I would say that out of 100% of people in the first category and second category, they overlap about 80%. I think there's about 20% on each side that don't have piercings, but you know, have all these like issues, and then there are people that have like tattoos, you know, facial piercings, septum piercings, that are well-adjusted members of society.
Obviously, even with all of these studies and research papers, you're never going to be able to make a correct, sweeping blanket generalization about every one kind of person who looks a certain way. In the case of the first video we watched, where the girl is describing her issues with relationships with men, we know that people did at least initially find her very attractive, as she even cites at the end of the video that I cut off that both men and women have described completely falling in love with her. And when I first listened to her story, I wasn't even making any judgments about her physical appearance. I was truly waiting for the other shoe to drop of when she was going to describe some consistent patterns of behavior that might lead to all of this correlation. In her case, I definitely think that being a vocal man-hater was probably the linchpin in the disruption in her relationships with men, but certainly not all women with piercings and tattoos.
Absolutely. Like, honestly, the way that I see it is like, you know, if you go around being like, oh, I hate men, I want men to die, I just can't, I don't understand them, yada yada yada, or whatever the reason is. Like, if you just go out and you're just a man hater, oh, you know, the whole bear in the woods man, whatever, I don't know, I don't follow these trends, you know, it's bad. It's bad if you date that, you know, that demographic. It's bad if you want to find love in that demographic, because it's not just about what you say and what is perceived externally, but what you internalize by that. You know, I don't go around saying that I hate women are the worst, this, that, whatever. And it's important to really just say what you mean, and mean what you say. Don't go out and try to ostracize a group of people that you mingle with. You know, I've got 0 bitches, not because I hate women. I absolutely don't hate women. I just have 0 bitches. I don't know what it is. Maybe the Riz isn't up, but you know, if you call yourself a man hater, if you call yourself a such and such hater, if you say that you don't like these things, you know, you're not attractive. You know, all the gamers out there, like, think about it this way. Like, what if you're in a situation where the girl that, you know, you're talking to, or man that you're talking to is like, I don't like gamers. You know, oh, why is he playing why is he on the video game? He should be watching Netflix 12 hours a day. Why is he gaming? Like bro, like, think about that. You don't want to date anybody that's like that. It's like, man, I hate men with long hair. You know what happened the last time I dated a girl, or I matched with a girl on Tinder? She told me that she either likes men with beards or men with short hair. She doesn't like men that have beards and long hair. And she wanted me to cut it. You know what I did? I blocked that bitch. I don't know what to tell you, man. I gotta be myself, you know? I gotta be myself. Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't want me to not be myself and date me, right? Whatever. That's a... I'm getting a little off the rails there.
In fact, here are some examples of super pierced and tattooed girls in very happy relationships with men.
No revenge, because my boyfriend and I have a relationship most people can only dream of and are committed to each other for eternity. And hey, dude, that septum, that is respect right there. That is a huge fucking septum, okay? I got my septum pierced big. Like, you know, you might not know much about septums, but I got this pierced at a 10. A 10's pretty big to start off with. Like, it's pretty big. You know, you see like a lot of the girls that will have septum piercings and they'll be like tiny. They'll be like, the gauge is like really small. And so it kind of looks whatever. No, I need something with presence. And still, because of the way that my nose is, it fits perfectly. Dude, I go to work and like people don't even notice half the time. Also, captive balls are awesome, but they're hell to deal with. But I definitely prefer them. And if you want to not look like a cow or a bull, absolutely get one of these. You know, where she has the horseshoe kind of like thing right here. Yeah, stay away from that if you want to get called a bull way less. They're probably not having kids though. I'd be surprised if they were interested in having kids. I'd be surprised. Usually those types, if you want children, most of the time, you know, 70% of the time, they, you know, they're not into the whole natalist thing. Anyways, hey, and that ain't a jab at you. You know, if you want to be child free, that's totally fine. Double income, no kids goes crazy in 2025. That's kind of the meta right now. Hey. No, never mind. Never mind.
What is this?
Doing my pretty boyfriend's eyeliner and realizing I finally feel safe, secure, and loved for who I am in a relationship. Putting a ring on this man's finger. Good on her. Do we get another look of this man?
What is this, please?
Also, it's
all these men kind of look the same. These girls, they have a type. And you know what? That one girl at the beginning of the video, that type of man is probably her type. Honestly, if you looked at all of them, yeah. Cause you know, you're not dating a big chunky boy like myself, typically. You're dating these Hotel Transylvania, like that dude from that, yeah, that stuff, that kind of guy.
Funny how they always go for the nerdy game.
I did not pre-watch that. Okay, I did not pre-watch that.
Nice. But this is what makes the nose ring theory so complex, because if the first video were to be enough to prove that it's accurate, then all of these other videos should be enough to disprove it, right? At the end of the day, the nose ring theory is just that, a theory.
Game theory. Thanks for watching.
Discussing. Is it true that people with a lot of tattoos and piercings tend to be a bit more rebellious, chaotic, and traumatized? Yeah, probably, but does it make them inherently undateable? No.
Nah.
Some of them are. Some of them are absolutely
right,
but not all of them. As with most things, it's a case-by-case scenario, and it's always more important to pay attention to how a person behaves or what they believe in than it is to try and find secret clues in how they look or dress. Anyway, that has been my analysis on nose ring theory. If you liked my coverage, please drop a like on the video, consider subscribing. We are so close to the big 500,000, the big 500,000 subscribers.
That's big.
And drop any comments that you have on the subject down below, because that also helps boost me in the algorithm and grow my channel. And if you want even more from me than you can find here, consider joining my Patreon at patreon.com/thedadvocate for early access to my videos, exclusive content, and exclusive merch that you can't get anywhere else. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the very end. I will catch you in the next one. Until soon.
Alright. My final takeaway. Does it hold up? Kind of. Does it affect me personally? Absolutely not. I mean, if you were raised like I was raised, you never judge a book by its cover. You instead judge them about how big your fucking biceps are, okay? Judge them based on your the biceps and not by the cover, okay? I don't know where you can get a book with biceps. If you know, post it in the comments down below. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And until next time, y'all keep it easy and see ya.